entertainment bullseye every week with her hard riding. Straight shooting. And suspense.
I won't be but a few minutes, Miss Lucy.
All right, Frank.
Well, Lucy, escorting one of the judge's bad boys?
Come on, we're not going to fight.
She's been going around with these ex-jailbirds so long, she's forgot how to talk.
Are you men looking for something?
Yeah, you're a little far from home, aren't you, convict?
Don't pay any attention to them, Frank, please.
Well, you all rehabilitated convict? You know, he don't look rehabilitated to me, does he to you?
I can't even say it. How can he be it?
Let's go, Frank.
Must be quite a gang of you ex-jailbirds working out at Judge Prince's place now. Quite a herd, huh? Oh, you're not leaving, are you? Why, I thought sure the judge had taught you better manners than that before now.
Can't you leave him alone?
We're just trying to help you, ma'am. I don't know what the judge can be thinking of, letting his niece ride around the country with a criminal. Well, the old boy must be getting soft in the head. You know, we have to protect ourselves. This convict's attacking us. Stop!
I'll get the buckboard, Lawson.
Quiet down, I'll jail the lot of you. That's a little better.
Well, believe me, Judge.
Never mind, Frank. I've already heard everybody's side of the case.
And it proves just one thing to me, Judge. That your boys shouldn't be allowed in town. They cause nothing but trouble.
It seems you've said enough about that in your newspaper, Martin. I think the judge has a right to be proud of the work he's doing with these men.
Well, now, don't misunderstand me, Annie. I'm behind this rehabilitation project of the judge's 100%. But I still think you ought to move the present site.
Like over to your acreage at Juniper Bend, eh?
I just made that offer because I figured it was the best thing for Diablo. It'd get those convicts a bit farther away.
They're ex-convicts, Martin. And I looked a long time before I found that spot at the lake, and I wouldn't trade it all for half the state. If rehabilitation can't work there, it can't work anyplace.
Well, it is working, Judge. You're proving that.
I'm not, Annie. My boys are. I have to admire your persistence, Martin, but the answer is still no. And as court's in session, that's my final ruling. Now, Frank, are you willing to drop your charges against Cody and Ed here?
Sure, Judge. If you say so. After what you've done for the men and boys out at your place, I'd drop the charges against the devil himself.
Well, then that's settled. So suppose we just fine everybody $5. Usual fee for disturbing the peace. You were fighting too, Deputy, so the fine's the same, $5. But seeing as how your fighting was on the side of law and order, we'll suspend the fine.
I guess I better get out of here myself. You'd be tacking a fine on me.
Well, I hope you're on the bench if I ever get arrested. I'm surprised you didn't pay the fine for them, too.
Well, I guess I would have, Lucy, if it had been necessary. But let me tell you, I wasn't always so concerned with the men who faced me. A man can make a mistake. A mistake he can't forget. Ever.
Well, Martin, what happens to your plans now?
Well, it seems they'll have to be changed.
Well, you better change them fast. It'll cost us plenty if he finds out there's oil on that land.
Our judge is our only obstacle. Without him, that on our farm would fall apart. Then I could buy it with no trouble at all.
I say we remove that obstacle. My way.
Before we do it your way, Cody, we've got to have a way out. See, I'm a cautious man. The thought of a rope around my neck doesn't exactly appeal to me. No, we have to find a way out.
Sure thing, son. Hold it, mister.
You talking to me?
I didn't see anyone else push the boy. Apologize.
You're talking all right. But I don't think I'm hearing you right.
I said apologize.
Listen to him, Ed. He sounds like a real mean man, don't he?
Don't he, though?
Maybe you'd like to try and make me apologize.
Just once more, mister. Apologize.
All right, kid. I'm sorry.
Holy Toledo, mister. Who are you?
Does it really matter, son?
See that draw?
I sure did, Ed. I've seen him before.
Where?
From the Dakotas, more than 10 years ago. Name is Jim Hayward. You boys remember that way out I was looking for?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's it.
Faster than grease lightning. Made Cody Barnes apologize to me right in front of everybody. No kidding. You should have seen it.
Well, if we had, we'd have stopped it, Tagg.
I don't like it, Annie. He sounds like a professional. What's he doing in Diablo?
That's what I was thinking.
Any suggestions?
Just one.
What's that?
Let's find out. Hi, Judge. Jim Hayward?
That's right.
I'm Annie Oakley. That was my kid brother you stood up for outside, and I just wanted to thank you.
It's my pleasure, miss. I don't like to see people shoved around.
I'd like to talk with you, Hayward.
Business?
Suppose you tell us.
Doesn't look like you're planning to be with us long.
That depends. Now, just what was it you wanted to find out?
Well, we hear you're awful fast with a gun.
Fast enough. That supposed to make any difference?
In Diablo, it does. Why'd you come here?
Same reason as most everyone else, I reckon, looking for a place to settle.
Settle what?
Nice view.
I like it.
Clerk downstairs said you asked for this room special.
Did he?
Look, Mr. Hayward, it's our business to keep the peace. And when a man who draws as fast as you comes to town, there's usually a reason.
We want to know what it is. Or who it is. One way or another, we're going to find out.
I'm afraid one of those ways will not be for me, Mr. Deputy.
I just can't figure you, mister.
I think the best thing, miss, would be not to try. Right?
What do you think, Annie?
I don't know, Lofty. He looks like a gunfighter, but I just don't think he'd kill anybody.
You said it yourself. He's here for a reason. He could be an ex-convict, or maybe he's on a wanted list.
Oh, we can check all the wanted lists. Say, if he is an ex-convict, maybe Judge Prince would know something about him.
Worth a try.
Well, that's all we know about him, Judge, so we thought you might be able to help. Does the name Jim Hayward mean anything to you?
Yes, I'm afraid it does.
What is it, Judge? What does he want?
My life. He wants to kill me.
But why?
For a reason which I'm sure Jim feels is just. And I can't see but what I'd feel the same if I were Jim. It happened, more than 10 years ago. Jim's younger brother was on trial for armed robbery. The jury's verdict was in, and it was my duty to pronounce sentence on young Hayward. All through the trial, he'd proclaimed his innocence, and I'll never forget the look in his eyes as I put him behind bars. 2 years later, young Hayward and another convict attempted an escape, but they didn't get very far. The other fellow made good his escape, but Jim's brother was killed.
Surely Jim Hayward doesn't blame you for what happened.
Well, that's not quite the end of the story, Annie. Just let me show you something here.
Convict killed in prison break, found innocent of crime that jailed him.
I sent an innocent man to jail and to death.
Judge, you still can't blame yourself. What about the jury? They convicted him.
Yes, I tried to tell myself that it was an honest mistake, but it didn't work. I pronounced sentence, and the boy was innocent.
How could you know, Judge?
The how's not important, Lofty. I should have known, and I didn't.
Is young Hayward the reason for your rehabilitation project, Judge?
Well, mainly. And for other reasons as well. Men who might never have a second chance.
If we could only figure out some way to get Hayward out to your ranch at the lake. Show him what you're doing and tell him why. I'm sure we could show him how wrong he is.
Well, that's a pretty big order, Annie, but I'm sure willing to try. That is, if you don't think Jim will feel I'm doing this just to save my own skin.
Don't worry, Judge. He won't even know you're aware of his identity.
But, Annie, how are we going to get him out to the judge's ranch?
Lofty, would you like to go riding with me, even with a chaperone?
Sure I would, but... Hey, wait a minute. You mean you're going to ask Jim Hayward to go riding?
Right. But don't worry, Lofty. You're the chaperone. Goodbye, Judge.
Goodbye, Annie.
Judge.
You sure this isn't going to be just more questions, Miss Oakley?
No more questions, Jim. You told me not to try to figure you out.
That's right.
Well, I think I have. And I think this ride will prove it.
If you have a chance, boys, I'd like something for the obituary column. we stopping here for? Seen ranches before. Anything special about this one?
Very special, Mr. Hayward. Just wait and see. We brought a friend of ours we'd like for you to meet. He just arrived from Diablo. Jim, this is Judge Prince.
How do you do, Jim? This is my niece, Lucy.
Hello. Judge, why don't you tell Jim something about what you've been doing? I'm sure he'd be interested.
Why, certainly. I'd be more than happy to, if he'd really like to hear.
Go ahead, Judge.
Well, this property is the result of a dream, one that I've had for years. I've established this ranch for ex-convicts, men who never had a real chance.
It's pretty dangerous, isn't it, Judge?
No. My charges have all kept their promises to me. A good day's work for a good meal, a pleasant place to live. You see, Jim, I once made a terrible mistake. I sent an innocent man to prison. For years after his death, I tried to lose myself. I quit law. I traveled from town to town.
Man would find it pretty hard to catch up with you after all these years, wouldn't he, Judge?
Yes, I suppose he would. But you see, when I found this place, I knew I'd found my answer. Here was a place where I could give men in trouble a chance I couldn't give that man I sent to prison.
You think what you're doing now makes up for your mistake, huh?
No, Jim. What I did can never be erased. But I'm trying to make some kind of restitution in the only way I know how. Can you understand that, Jim?
I'm sure he can, Judge.
I better get back to town. I got things to do.
You will come back and visit me again. Lucy and I'd be very pleased.
I'll be back, Judge.
Brought you here, Jim?
The reason's kind of obvious, isn't it, Miss Oakley? We know what you came to Diablo for, Hayward. We want you to get straight within yourself.
Revenge isn't the answer.
You think of a better answer?
Mm-hmm. Forgiveness.
He killed my brother.
Well, that fast gun of yours isn't going to bring him back, Jim. It'll give you nothing but trouble. Kill a man, and you've got to keep on running.
Sooner or later, you'll run onto someone who's faster.
Possibly.
If you'd have gone for your gun back there with the judge, you never would have cleared the holster.
What are you talking about?
Suppose you show him, Annie. Dismount.
Lofty, toss that piece of shale up in the air. When he throws it, draw and fire. Think it over, Jim. Maybe you'll change your mind about a lot of things.
See you back in town, Jim.
We heard a shot. Is there anything wrong?
No. Annie was just helping Jim make a decision.
The one-man jury is out, Judge. It's in his hands now.
I'm trying to make restitution in the only way I know how. Can you understand that?
Revenge isn't the answer. Forgiveness. Forgiveness.
That fast gun of yours isn't going to bring your brother back.
Forgiveness. Forgiveness.
Let's go home, boy.
Look, Ed. He's leaving.
You suppose he changed his mind?
I don't know. But this is the chance we've been waiting for.
Boys, help the judge into the house.
Annie, don't blame Jim Hayward too much. He only did what he thought was right.
Whatever he thought, Judge, he was wrong.
Shot came from up there, Annie.
Look. Let's get him, Lofty. Come on, Tagg.
There's no time for explanations now, boy. They think I did it. We gotta run.
Careful, Annie.
Give yourself up, Jim.
Stay back. You trapped Hayward. I didn't shoot the judge, I swear it. Then come down with your hands up. I'm not going to prison for something I didn't do. It's just like my brother. Nobody believes me. Stay back or I'll shoot.
I think he's telling the truth, Lofty. There's only one way to prove it.
Annie. I meant what I said.
You won't shoot, Jim. For all your speed, you're not a killer. I believe you. Now put that gun down.
All the years I practiced, I never pulled the trigger. I just couldn't.
I know that, Jim. Not any more than you could kill Judge Prince.
I figured you'd think I did it. I was going after him, Annie, but then I saw you riding toward me.
You saw the man who shot the judge?
Yeah, I think it's the same two I tangled with in town.
Are you sure?
Almost, Annie. I'd recognize them if I saw their horses.
And those are the two that worked for George Martin.
And I'll bet that ties in with Martin wanting to get the judge's property. Come on. I think I know where we'll find those two men.
You'll have a better story on that for your paper tomorrow, George.
Yeah, all about how that Jim Hayward gunned down the poor old judge.
Keep that surprised look, Martin. You're all under arrest.
What are you talking about?
Those are the horses, Annie. I'm sure of it. The last man to start talking gets shot.
Martin, he said we could blame it on to you.
We did it on his orders.
Why,
That's good enough for us, isn't it, Lofty? Looks like you pulled that trigger after all, Jim, but on the right side of the law. And with you out of the way, Judge Prince, Martin figured he wouldn't have any trouble getting hold of this property.
That oil's going to make you a wealthy man, Judge.
Not me, Lofty. My boys. Every penny is going into expanding this ranch and building others like it.
Say, Judge Prince,
Yes, Jim?
I've got a lot of years to make up for. I like to feel that I was one of your boys. After all, you and Annie gave me my first chance.
I'd be very proud of that, Jim.
You gonna stay in Diablo, Mr. Hayward?
Why, sure, the judge is going to need a lot of help developing this land now.
You know what I'm going to do, Annie? I'm going to sentence this man. Yes, sir, I'm going to sentence him to the best cooked meal in the Southwest. Will that be all right with you, Lucy?
Of course, Judge.
You know, Judge, that's one sentence I'd like to get, too, with no suspension.